All right, so welcome to the last tutorial on how to create, set up a Fuze meeting through the JVLA 2.0. So let's go ahead and get started, just kind of picking back up where we left off. You already know how to download and sign into your Fuze account through JVLA, and you learned how to schedule a meeting. So today we're going to walk through the various tools and functions that you can use while you are having a class meeting. So let's begin by, we opened up our Fuze application. We're going to go ahead and log in to JVLA Fuze 25. And I'll go ahead and type in the password and log myself in here. Now there's something that I wanted to mention about when you schedule a Fuze meeting that might be a question that you have. When you schedule a meeting through Fuze, obviously inputting the email addresses that you want, the subject, and the when. So always please schedule your meeting based on your current time zone, whether that's Central, Pacific, or Eastern, because when you send the scheduling meeting, it will readjust the time to show the receiver's time, the recipient's time. So I am in Texas and I'm Central time. And so I'm going to go ahead and schedule it for 2 p.m. Central until 2:30, for example. But if I were to send it to you, and let's say, for example, you're in New York, it would show up as 3 p.m. So no one is confused. So I'm going to go ahead and save and send this request. However, if you are going to just copy the info, copy the link, and paste it to the news forum and send to your students. Be sure that you're clear about the time and let them know if it's 2 Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, etc. Because the only thing that you're copying there is the actual meeting link and not necessarily the time and date and things like that. But if you're going to send an email directly to the students, it will change the time to fit their time zone. So just a little FYI on that. All right, let's go ahead and get started with today's meeting. And I'm going to go ahead, I selected it, and I'm going to go ahead and start this meeting. And I'm going to be the only participant, so you may hear some background music. Again, I will go ahead and join the audio conference by using my internet audio and selecting Connect. And it'll let me know that I'm the only participant in this meeting. And I can do one of two things. I can invite attendees, I can start the video conference, I can share my desktop, or I can add content. Since I'm going to go ahead and have content that I would like to share with my students, I can do so right away. I can simply add content, and what it's going to do is it's going to take me to the content library. Now it's going to load content that's already been loaded on here, but I don't necessarily want any of that, so I'm going to go ahead and upload content file from my computer, and my file folders will show up, and I'm going to go ahead and select, let's see, I just want this little PowerPoint here. It's very simple. You can upload virtually anything, a document, a PowerPoint, a PDF file, any kind of file that you have on your computer is easily uploaded into the Fuze meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and open this, and you'll see here that it's going to take a moment to download or to upload to the Fuze meeting. So I suggest that prior to starting your class meeting, if you know you're going to have content that you want to share, that you upload it prior to doing that. And you can very easily do that by just going to sharing meeting content, and you can add new content from your computer or from the content library, whatever you would like to do. So I'm going to go ahead, and as this is loading, I just want to walk through some of the tools and functions that you can use in a Fuze meeting. Let's start here in the left-hand corner. This icon home would take you back to the home page, the home screen, if you are doing any of the other following tasks. So that's a simple house and basic information there. Display home screen. Meeting content. If you have meeting content, it will show the meeting content that you've uploaded in this little dialog box. So all the files that you've uploaded for your meeting will show up here, and you can select the one that you want students to be looking at that time. The small screen into the bigger screen with the arrow is the start screen sharing. And if I select this, what will happen is that you will then, it'll tell me that screen sharing is active and students can see what's on my screen. So it's just important that you have up on your screen exactly what you want students to see. So as you can see here, this is my desktop, and if I wanted to share anything else like a website or a web page, I could show that as well. And so my Fuze screen would minimize, and the screen that I'm seeing is the screen that students would be seeing. So it's telling me that my screen is shared. And so I'll go ahead and stop the screen sharing. This little video camera here is to start my video conference. If I select it, then it'll think about it for a moment, and up pops my video, and I am on the air. So hello there. And you can see me now. I'll go ahead and pause that. I can pause camera, I can end the conference, or I can set my video settings. I'll just go ahead and pause my camera here. Alright, and so now it's telling me that my history PowerPoint has been added to the meeting, so then I could easily, I'm going to get out of that, I can easily go to my meeting content and I can see that my PowerPoint is here. And if I select it, then you would see the PowerPoint come up, and I could walk through step by step the PowerPoint that I would want here. All right, and so I'm going to go ahead and move on from there. Here this tells me the web attendees, so who's online, so I can see a list of my attendees. Then I can see if someone's on call or just their audio. And here I can invite more or notify other participants, other students via email, phone, or telepresence. So you can tell if students are on their computer or if they've just called in and listening to the audio portion. Usually if they're just listening to the audio portion, they will not be able to see any content that you've uploaded. So that is something to remember and to consider. The little bubble icon here is for meeting chat. This is really great if students want to send a message to you, the teacher, and ask you a question. I do encourage if you're presenting something or if other students are presenting something that you allow them to send messages via the chat so that they're not interrupting via their voice verbally. And they just need to be careful and be sure that they send it to a specific participant, or if they want it to be sent to everyone, that they select the right person here in this drop-down box. And that is the meeting chat. And then here is where you can control whether you would like to mute your microphone so that you are not heard. So if you know you're having some background noise and someone is speaking or a student is presenting, then you can mute the microphone there. And that button would disconnect me from the audio. So I don't want to do that, so I want to stay connected there. Moving along over as well to the right, you can record a meeting. You can get the meeting information. If someone is late and you need to send them a quick link, you can copy that info and then paste it into a message and send it to them. You can end the meeting. And you can also see the quality of service. So it says here that I have some low service, maybe my Wi-Fi isn't working too great, and it can kind of let you know if you're going to be a little choppy or coming in and out of the meeting. So that's something to be aware of as well. Some things you can do with your presentation is you can annotate. So by clicking the little pen in the notepad there, you can do the eye point. So if you're pointing to something, it's a red dot and they can see what you're referring to. You can simply do the arrow. They can see the arrow that you're pointing at. If you wrote something on the whiteboard, you could erase it with the eraser. This is how big, if you want to highlight something, make a square so students can see it. Plus sort of play around with some of those tools if you like on your own time. You can change the color of the square that you would like, for example, right? And if you don't want a square and you want a circle, or a triangle, or a line, or a single arrow, you can say, look at this. So something to sort of play around with on your own time if you like before the class, if you know you're going to be pointing to things and using certain tools, etc. It's kind of a great way to do that. I'll go ahead and come back to my arrow. And there are a couple of other tools that students would see if they want to communicate with you. They can raise a flag, and it just would be a little flag that you would see here in the top bar. It doesn't show up on my screen because I'm the host of the meeting, but you can also with this, if you'll see, you can make any of your attendees the host if you would like. So that they have control of the screen. So you can use that if students are presenting. And there are just a series of icons at the top that you can do and that you can use with Fuze, including sharing meeting content, sharing your desktop, muting your microphone, muting other students' microphones if you want to mute all and prevent feedback in the background. You can do that through attendees and mute all, opening the chat window, minimizing, etc., and getting other help from the Fuze website. So this is just an introduction to some of the basic tools and functions that you can use within Fuze. I'm going to go ahead and end this meeting and end the audio conference. So as I mentioned before, just real quickly, if you want to, my content, if you want to look at the content or if you want to add content, you can do so before the meeting. And again, it's in the same simple way. Just add a document for this purposes, and very quickly it uploads, it processes depending on how large the file is. It's converting it now momentarily just so that you can see this process. And then what I can do is I can go to my meetings, and at my test meeting I can add content prior to the meeting. And I'll just look up what I posted today. So date, I'll go by the date, post session form, I posted that today. And it very quickly, excuse me, adds it to my course. So, and here again you see the list of meetings that are coming up. So just be sure not to double book 2 meetings at the same time. Those are the basics on the Fuze meeting. You can use the different tools and functions depending on what you would like to use in your course. And I am here to answer any questions that you may have on how to use Fuze. Thank you and good luck.